I know you're in currently Arizona and Texas. Okay. Why? Why those states? I mean, Colorado's a no-brainer because you really can't go bad in Colorado no matter what you do, right? Unless you're a crazy buyer. Everything Colorado, constantly lot rents going up, higher demand. Arizona and Texas, great states, but why did you choose that footprint? I mean, there's 50 states out there. Why didn't it have any parks? Why have you put a heavy focus on Texas, Arizona?
So we operate and do everything ourselves as a team and as a dealership, you name it. We're from San Diego. So Arizona was, as we went to Colorado, we then would start to find deals in Arizona, as you can imagine, from just kind of getting into the broker network and kicking tires. So then we kind of made our way actually from Denver. We owned a deal in Brighton to Durango. Then we had our first Arizona deal, which is in Cottonwood, which is up by Sedona. And then we went down into Peoria. And once we got into Arizona, there's just so many deals. And once you're in with the brokers, like in your transacting, you tend to find and get more deals sent to you. And so we just fell in love with the simplicity of the desert. So we don't have the weather issues. Property taxes are really fair. Property insurance tends to be more in line with where it should be, even though rates have gone up lately. It's still a lot cheaper than other markets that I've looked at. Then I'd say once we got in to know the submarkets really well, we just kind of really focused there. We built a regional team. We actually, while I'm thinking about it, we purchased Moon Valley from you, I'm pretty sure. And so we, those types of deals, they just kind of came around and we got good at the operations there, doing all the inventory, the dealership license, all that stuff. And we're a smaller family company to begin with. So it was just like, what's the best logical way for us to scale? And we liked the fact that we got sharp in that given market. Whenever we kind of stepped out, we were learning lessons. When you kind of shotgun approach, there's all these unknowns and it's hard to pin down all the variables of that market when you're unfamiliar. So we always looked at a lot of mobile home parks all over the country. But as soon as I was about to step out and make a big offer and chase a deal in a different city, I'd find another great deal in Arizona. And then I just kept the momentum.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, and then besides that, now Arizona is becoming like the fair-haired child with the just normal, landlord-friendly stuff. If somebody doesn't pay rent, you can evict them. Just normal common sense. And then now insurance battles are a big thing. Property tax battles in Texas are very real on just like trying to maintain a reasonable cost. Well, Arizona doesn't have that. Now we're having a 3 or 4 groups every year are bidding for our insurance policy in Arizona because they'd rather have that than somewhere else. So our insurance has ballooned, but now is settling. So we just, continue to really like Arizona. Then we have some new tailwinds with all the development that's going on there. Some of that onshoring and tech and things that are going on the western side and north of Phoenix. So then we're just doubling down. Then you start to get those competitive advantages where now our park down the street, like Moon Valley today, is $900, and so then you're like, well, wait, if it's $900 over here, it should be at least $850 over here, and then now we're buying parks at $700 where the sellers think they're at market.
Right.
So you just start to triangulate deals,
Sure. And let's talk about your team structure for a minute. So you probably have a manager in every park, is that correct?
Technically we have a person and a body for every park, but we've drifted from that because we're so regionally hubbed. Yep. We have a sales team that roams, quality control that runs around with like the app and the phone and sending pictures and text blasts for junk on their front porches. They also coordinate home sets and rentals. And then we have managers that are more like regionals. So they oversee all that. And what we found is our really great property specific managers could manage really good up to like 4 or 5 properties. So then we brought more of like admin and this quality control people in to fill in the gap, because they were really the managers that we elevated to regionals. They really understood the rent manager and the collections and the bill pay functions, to where we didn't want to train everybody to be doing the same thing. So we now have a completely different structure than when we started.
And like, what is the future? I mean, you're at 25 parks, you got a team, you got a focus thing. Obviously your program's working well. You've been around 15 years, grown from 0 to 25. So what are you doing next? Like, how big are you trying to grow? What's the plan?
So we're one of the only private capital raisers left. I feel like a lot of guys have jumped into the institutionally backed, more of a GP function, general partner function with, big equity. And so I actually hired a guy and brought him on from BlackRock Real Estate Equity, and he's raising capital on our behalf. Brought him into our promote structure, our GP, and I
Sure.
used to raise money, and now he's way better at it and kicking butt. And so we're at 2,500 units, kind of always in flux, a couple hundred if we're selling and buying, and where our goal is to get to 5,000 units in 5 years, to raise at least like 50 million of fresh equity a year. We're doing about that 30 to 50, I'd say, last couple. And then it's just finding good deals. So the big limiter as of right now, and it's always been this yin and yang, is getting deals that are good quality to kind of fill that allocation and how much we want to grow. But honestly, we bought 350 units in the last 8 months, and then we got another 230 in contract. And so if we can grow at a rough 400 to 500 units.
All right, if you're enjoying this content, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and check out the description below for our websites listed. Thanks a lot for joining.